How's it going, guys? NeoKaiba here. I'm going to have a brief little discussion video about Wyarm the Progenitor Dragon, or the Originator Dragon Wyarm, as his original translation appears to be. I have him right here on my phone, so I'm going to give you guys a brief little discussion about him. He's a level 9 Dark Dragon Fusion monster with 2700 attack and 2000 defense. Now, just those stats alone, they're very good stats. The fact that he's level 9 and has 2700 attack kind of puts me at a... I don't know how to feel about him. But his requirements are very simple. He doesn't require any specific types, just normal monsters. That's right, 2 normal monsters. They could be anything. They could be 2 Flame Velgars, or, you know, a Trihorn Dragon and a Blue Eyes. Just saying. But 2 normal monsters to get this fusion. And his effect reads that he can only be summoned first by fusion summon and no other way. He can't be special summoned by other ways. Then he goes on to being unable to be destroyed by battle except with a normal monster. That's getting very hard to see in a lot of cases. Normal monsters used to dominate the game, but now, as the formats have changed drastically, it's become more effect-based. So he can't be destroyed by battle except by a normal monster. This is really interesting. I like this, and it's getting me very excited for it. It is also unaffected by monster effects, and you can only control one Wyarm the Genesis Dragon, or Originator Dragon Wyarm, however you guys want to go about pronouncing his name. But that is amazing. I love this effect, just because he requires normal monsters, he can only be destroyed by battle with normal monsters, and then he can't be affected by any other monster effects. This is great. This just is the biggest, you know, knife in the back to the amount of effect monsters that are dominating this format. So I'm very excited for this guy. He's coming out in new challengers, so I'm very, very excited for that. The other thing I want to talk about is the fact of his requirements and whether or not I'll be able to make the benefit of having him and of running him. I was asked earlier today about experimenting with Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and Dragon Master Knight in the extra decks. Or, you know, like, going about the Blue Eyes fusions. The problem is that if you have polymerization, it's almost 100% a dead card in hand. And the extra deck I'm currently experimenting with kind of makes every card live in some way. Now, the argument may be for Rank Up Magic Quick Chaos that it's dead in your hand unless you get 107 out. Well, that's not actually the case. I've had several games, both testing and live, where it has been an acceptable card in hand, because if you have at least, say, 1 or 2 cards in hand, players will not know whether it's a Maxi, Effect Veiler. Since I'm running a bunch of light normal monsters, it could be honest, so it plays well into the mind game aspect, and it doesn't require me to, you know, dedicate a whole lot to the field. Or I can set it. It can be great MST bait. If you set it and it gets MST'd, you almost never end up needing it at that point, because you're going to dominate with the fact that your normal monsters are in play and they are taking control of the field through just sheer aggression. Now, the premise that I am thinking for Wyarm is that he's 2700, and I run a bunch of monsters who are above that. A lot of my level 8s in my particular build are above 2700 attack, with the exception of Darkstorm Dragon, who actually is 2700 attack, but he's a Gemini monster. Now, here's basically my reasoning behind this. I don't want to use Blue Eyes to fusion summon this, because you're trading a 3000 level 8 for a 2700 level 9, whose only great purpose is to basically be a combat deterrent. He's a 2700 beater, can't be destroyed by battle. With Monster Reborn gone, there's no way your opponent can deal with this unless they're running vanillas of their own. Secondly, the only reason it would be bad to go into this is because you are losing cards from the hand, and it requires you to physically have a means to fusion him. People's famous so far that I've seen them testing with is Dragon's Mirror. Now that's actually a bad call. Dragon's Mirror in like my particular build there isn't enough dragons to make it viable, and there's no way to get them back without running more cards than that would be unnecessary and otherwise dead in certain situations. So I'm trying to limit the amount of cards that would be actually useless in the deck and give you more of a flow and consistency. So that no matter your hands, no matter where you're going with it, you always have something to do with it. But this is a monster that would be that I'm really looking forward to seeing and experimenting with personally. Maybe this could lead to a change in the design of my deck so far. Because so far I've been seeing and receiving a lot of comments, thank you guys by the way, of how my deck is so different from a lot of the ones floating around. And I think I'll have to actually do another video discussing that, about the route I took my variant versus the route that, say, other players have gone. I've been looking, I'll make sure to do my homework and get an idea of some of these guys, and I'll mention them by name. I won't be, no hate, by the way. But, anyways, I'm starting to trail off. Worm is going to be an interesting one when he comes out in his in-release in Japan, because we can get to see, you know, what they're doing with it. We might see a normal deck, a monster with just pure vanillas floating around in the meta over there, and it could be just what we kind of need for those of us who have been sticking around with vanillas to see this going on. And it would be so much fun to see this, a vanilla deck like just toppling over all these like meta decks with like Geargia, Shadows, Tellarknights. Just seeing it topple over them would just be like the icing on this ice cream cake for me. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go before I just end up ranting on and changing the subject various times. So thank you guys for sticking around watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, and peace out, guys.